Suppose I have two memory locations. Okay, let me give them the names A and B. So A and B are not only memory locations, but they also can contain variable values, that is, values which can change. So let's say I have the value 1 in A and I have the value 0 in B. So if I want to transfer the value of A to B and B to a lot of times people who are new to programming or logic, we will try to do something like this. You will try to say A is B, assign the value B, and B is assigned the value A. Why this will not work? Let me tell you. When you say A is assigned the value B, so let's take a table and understand how they work. You should always take a table to test whether your logic is right or not. Do not assume that after you draw a flowchart, write a pseudocode or algorithm, that it's correct, because you can make minor errors and it's always good to test them. Suppose A is 1, B is 0. You end up doing this step 1 and in step 2 you do this. So when you give the value of B to A, initially A is 1, B is 0. Next step, you're giving the value of B to A. What is happening? A is now also becoming 0 and B is also becoming the value 0. Now a problem with this is you have lost the old value of A, which happened to be 1. Because of this problem, you cannot do this particular step, because next step when you try to take the value of A and give it to B, you're still trying to give 0 back to B. So in order to solve this problem, a common approach which is used is we use a memory location called as temp. Okay, temp is called as a temporary variable or a temporary memory location. So what I can do is I can first copy the value of A into temp. Okay, so my first step will be I'll say temp takes the value of A, the variable, whatever A is contained. So in this case, let's say we have another column called as temp. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to give the value of B to A. So what I'm going to say is I'm going to say A is assigned the value of B. And now instead of giving B the value of A, I'm going to give B the value of temp. Let me tell you how this works. So let's say their initial value is 1, 0. Let's draw it separately so that we don't get confused. It's A, B and temp. Okay. We're not worried about the value of temp at this moment. So A and B is 1 and 0 respectively. Now when I say temp is assigned the value of A, the value of A is copied into temp. So temp becomes 1. Now when I say A is assigned the value of B, that means the value of B is copied into A, okay, then A becomes 0, B is also 0. But now we are not in a problem because the old value of A is stored in temp. So what I'm going to say is copy the value of temp into B, and I'm saying it by B is assigned the value temp. So now what happens is B becomes 1 and A already was 0 in the prior step. So this is how the logic to exchange the contents of two variable memory locations is shown here. Now suppose if we had to write a pseudocode for that, you will write it in a series of steps. The first step would be, I'm going to say take variables, let's say the names are A, B and temp. So A, B and temp represent three variables. Then my next step is, in order to exchange the values of A and B, first I need to read values into A and B. So here what I'm going to say is I'm going to say read the values into A comma B. Followed by this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say copy the content of A to temp. That is my third step. Okay. So the content of A is copied to temp. Now what is the next step? I am going to copy the content of B to A now. So next step what I am doing is I am saying copy the content of B to A. Alright. Then what is the fifth step? I am going to copy the contents of temp into B. Okay. So I am going to copy the content of temp into B. Alright. So this is copy the content of temp into B. And finally what I need to do? I need to print the values of A and B. That means I need to display what is within the memory locations A and B. So step number 6 is going to show the contents of what is in A and B. So this is an approach using the pseudocode. All right. Suppose I had to use an approach of an algorithm. It would have the same number of steps. It will look almost similar, okay, except the way we write algorithm is going to look a little different, but it's going to be very similar. So WAA stands for write an algorithm to exchange two numbers. The first step in an algorithm, you're going to have the step start. Okay, the first step is start. As always, every algorithm or every flowchart is going to start with start. Then I'm going to indicate to the person who is reading the algorithm that I'm going to have three variables a, b, and temp. So this, what this tells me is I have three variables a, b, and temp. Then in order to exchange the values, first I need to read the values into a comma b. So what do I do is I say read a comma b. Okay, I see read a comma b. Then the next step, what I am doing is, the next step is step number 3. It consists of three parts. First, I am copying the value of temp into a. So what I am saying is temp is assigned the value of a. This is followed by the value of b is copied into a, or a is given the assignment of b, or a is assigned the value of b. Then this is followed by, what am I going to do? I am now going to say b will take the value of temp. All right, so b takes the value of temp. Now this is finally followed by b takes the value of temp, and now I just need to print the result. So after exchange, step number 4 is going to come into picture. In step number 4, we are going to print the results or the exchanged value of a and b. In order to see if this logic really works, let's try to take in some values and test. Okay, let's say this is a, this is b. All right, and we're going to call this chap as the temp. Both this logic is similar. Okay, so there's not going to be a problem if I just test the algorithm. It's going to work in this case also. Let's say I enter a as -1, I enter b as 26. Temp I really don't care because I'm not using it anything. Now the first thing is, the initial values I have not specified, so they'll contain some values. Step number 2 is I read AB. I'm saying A is -1, B is 26. Now in step number 3, let's write part 1 first. In part 1, temp is assigned the value of A. That means temp is -1, B is still 26, A is still -1. Then A is assigned the value of B. So A takes the value of B. So this will become 26, 26 and -1. Then B is assigned the value of temp. That means B, this location will get replaced with the value of temp. So this becomes -1 and this remains -1. Now the message it's going to print is, it's going to say after exchange, it's going to print A and B. It's going to print 26 and it's going to print -1. So now if you see here, the values of A and B were exchanged using a simple logic. You need to understand both for pseudocode and algorithms that steps have to be done in a definite order. You cannot interchange the order of the steps. If you interchange the order, or if you do not follow the proper order, you are not going to get correct results. So here if you see, every algorithm will have step number 1, step number 2, step number 3, step number 4. So sometimes I may say from step number 4 go to step number, from step number 2 I may say go to step number 4. And at the end of every algorithm I'm going to have the stop sign. So this brings us to the close of our second algorithm and pseudocode in the same video, where we're showing how we can exchange the values in two memory locations, two variables A and